Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Donati. Today, we're going to talk about the circulatory and respiratory systems. Now, some of you are thinking, Mr. Donati, we're in the middle of a disease unit. Why are we going to talk about these two systems? Our next unit is cardiovascular disease. So, we need to have an understanding of how the circulatory and respiratory system work before we go into what are some of the major problems of the cardiovascular system. So, without further ado, we will look at the circulatory system first. The circulatory system, also called the cardiovascular or vascular system, is responsible for the flow of blood. It is made up of the heart, blood vessels, and blood. The circulatory system carries oxygen, nutrients, and hormones to the body cells for energy, growth, and repair. The circulatory system pumps blood from the heart to the lungs to get oxygen. The heart then sends the oxygen rich blood through the arteries to the rest of the body. Veins carry oxygen poor blood back to the heart. The circulatory system is divided into two major circuits. It consists of three independent systems that work together: the heart, cardiovascular; lungs, pulmonary; and arteries, veins, and coronary and portal vessels, systemic. How extensive is the circulatory system? The circulatory system is about 100,000 kilometers long. In other words, it's about 2.5 times the length of the circumference of the Earth. That means it's very, very long. The circulatory system helps transport oxygen and nutrients to cells for cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, also known as internal respiration, is a series of chemical reactions that break down glucose to produce ATP, which is used as energy for the cell. The circulatory system binds oxygen to hemoglobin in red blood cells and carries it to the cells. When the blood reaches the cells, it releases the oxygen and takes up carbon dioxide. The blood then returns to the lungs, where the oxygen rich lungs cause oxygen to flow into the blood. The respiratory system, which includes the lungs and diaphragm, gets oxygen to the lungs so it can be absorbed by the blood. The respiration and circulatory systems work together to provide oxygen to the body. The other half of this is external respiration. External respiration is about the mechanics of breathing, getting oxygen into the lungs and regulating it in a way that ensures its diffusion into the blood. It is also about ensuring proper diffusion of CO2 from the body into the lungs and then released into the atmosphere, basically inhaling and exhaling. Blood is a fluid that transports oxygen and nutrients to cells and carries away carbon dioxide and other waste products. It's a transport liquid pumped by the heart to all parts of the body, after which it's returned to the heart to repeat the process. Blood is composed of blood cells suspended in blood plasma. Plasma is mostly water, but it also contains proteins, glucose, minerals, ions, hormones, carbon dioxide, and blood cells themselves. The most abundant cells in vertebrate blood are red blood cells, which contain hemoglobin, an iron containing protein that facilitates oxygen transport. There are four types of blood types: AB, and O. Blood bank specialists determine your blood type based on whether you have antigen A or B on your red blood cells. They also look for proteins called Rh factor and classify your blood type as a positive if you have this protein and a negative if you don't. There are 8 major blood types: A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, O positive, and O negative. The most common blood type is O positive, which is given to patients more than any other blood type. The rarest blood type is AB negative, which is seen in just about 0.6% of the people. O negative is considered a universal blood type, meaning this can be used pretty much with anyone. The components of the blood are there are 4 parts to basically the blood. First of all, plasma. This is the main component of blood, consisting mostly of water, proteins, ions, nutrients, and waste. Red blood cells carry oxygen and carbon dioxide to the body and away from the body. Platelets interact with the clotting proteins to prevent or stop bleeding. And the last part is white blood cells, part of the immune system and function in the immune response. We now want to look at the respiratory system. The respiratory system is a network of organs and tissues that helps you breathe. It includes your airways, lungs, blood vessels, nose, mouth, throat, voice box, windpipe, and muscles that power your lung. The respiratory system's main job is to move fresh air into your body while removing waste gases. The respiratory system works together to move oxygen throughout the body, clean out waste gas like carbon dioxide. Once in the lungs, oxygen is moved into the bloodstream and is carried through your body. At each cell in your body, oxygen is exchanged for waste gases called carbon dioxide. The respiratory system also helps regulate the pH of the blood. When we inhale, the air enters through our nose or mouth. From there, the air travels to the lungs via the larynx. The main opening through which the air enters the lungs are called the bronchi. From the bronchi, air moves into smaller tubes called the bronchioles. These passages branch into even smaller spaces called alveoli. The alveoli are tiny air sacs in the lungs where carbon dioxide is exchanged with oxygen. The last part of the respiratory system is the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a large dome-shaped muscle that separates the chest from the abdomen. It's also called the thoracic diaphragm. The diaphragm's alternating movement helps you inhale and exhale. It's the primary muscle used in the respiration. The diaphragm is located just below the lungs and the heart and is attached to the sternum, the bottom of the rib cage, and the spine. It is made of muscle and fibrous tissue. The diaphragm contracts rhythmically and continually, and most of the time involuntarily. When you inhale, the diaphragm contracts and flattens, which enlarges the chest cavity and draws in the air from the outside. On a final thought, taking care of your circulatory and respiratory system is very important. Eating healthy foods, getting enough sleep, and being active every day can help keep your respiratory and cardiovascular system strong. Getting enough exercise makes your lungs stronger and better at giving your body the oxygen it needs. Again, this is a common theme I use in health. Always treat your personal health as a top priority. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the show.